Have you ever stopped for a moment and asked yourself, what am I worth? Our society tends to place value on material possessions, achievements, and external validation. We're often led to believe that our worth is measured by our bank accounts, the number of awards on our shelves, or the amount of likes on our latest social media post. But this approach is flawed. It's a trap that can lead us to undervalue our true worth. The value of self-worth is not something that can be quantified or measured by external standards. It's a deeply personal and intrinsic aspect of who we are. It's about recognizing our inherent worthiness, regardless of our circumstances or achievements. It's about acknowledging our inherent value as human beings. When we understand our self-worth, we are more resilient, more confident, and more capable of pursuing our dreams. So let's pause, reflect, and reassess our worth from within. Remember, the true measure of your worth comes from within, not from what you have or what others think of you. I wasn't always aware of my self-worth. In fact, I used to believe my value was tied to my achievements. There was a time when each accolade, each approval, each pat on the back was a direct reflection of my worth. I was a boat, tossed around by the waves of external validation, adrift in a sea of expectations. This belief led me down a path of relentless pursuit for achievement. I was running a race, and the finish line was always just out of reach. Every success was a fleeting moment of happiness, quickly replaced by the daunting shadow of the next goal. My worthiness was a hamster wheel, and I was the exhausted hamster, running myself ragged trying to keep up. The emotional toll was immense. I was constantly under pressure, constantly in a state of anxiety. My self-esteem was a roller coaster, rising with every success and plummeting with every setback. I was burning out, and I didn't know how to stop. Then one day I had a realization. I was sitting alone in my room, staring at a wall of trophies and certificates, and I thought to myself, is this it? Is this all I am? It was a sobering moment. I realized that my worth is not defined by my achievements. My worth is inherent. It's not something that can be earned or lost. It's not something that can be measured in trophies or certificates. It's something that exists within me, always. This realization was a turning point. I started to see myself in a new light. I started to understand that I am enough, just as I am. I started to value my own happiness and well-being over external validation. I started to take care of myself, to nurture my own growth, to celebrate my own journey. I started to believe in my own worth. It was a tough journey, but realizing my inherent worth was a revelation that changed my life. So we've talked about self-worth. Now what about persistence? Have you ever felt like giving up when things get tough? Imagine you're on a journey, a long winding road with numerous hurdles, obstacles and detours. You stumble, you fall, you get lost. But what if I told you that these setbacks are not failures, but stepping stones towards success? You see, the concept of persistence is often misunderstood. It's not about never failing or stumbling. Rather, it's about accepting these moments as part of your journey. It's about dusting yourself off and getting back up each time you fall. Think of it this way: every time you get back up, you're proving to yourself just how resilient you are. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Each setback, a lesson learned. Remember, it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. I too have had my moments of doubt, moments when I thought about giving up. There was a time, not too long ago, when I found myself in the throes of a particularly challenging situation. I was working on a project that seemed like an insurmountable mountain. The task was colossal, the deadline was tight, and the pressure was immense. I remember clearly the nights I spent staring at the ceiling, the days I spent buried in my work, and the constant nagging feeling of impending failure. The thought of giving up was a tempting one, a sweet escape from the relentless pressure. It would have been so easy to surrender, to let go of the reins and let the project fail. But there was a spark inside me, a spark that refused to be extinguished. It was the spark of perseverance. I decided to face the challenge head on. I broke down the project into manageable parts. I set realistic goals, and I started working towards them. There were setbacks, of course. There were days when it felt like I was taking one step forward and two steps back, but I didn't give up. I kept pushing, kept striving, kept believing in myself. And then it happened. The project was completed, the deadline was met, and the feeling of accomplishment was beyond anything I had ever experienced. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to the power of perseverance. But the real victory was not in completing the project. It was in the lessons I learned along the way. I learned that giving up is never an option. I learned that no challenge is insurmountable if you have the will to overcome it. I learned that perseverance is not just about achieving your goals, but about growing and evolving in the process. The experience taught me the importance of perseverance. It taught me that no matter how hard things get, you should never give up. You should keep pushing, keep striving, keep believing in yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It was a rough road, but the lessons I learned about perseverance have stayed with me to this day. So, what happens when we combine self-worth and persistence? It's like merging two powerful forces, creating a potent blend that can propel us to heights we've only dreamed of. Imagine self-worth as a wellspring, a source of energy deep within us. It's the understanding that we have value, that we matter, and that we have something unique to bring to the world. Now, imagine persistence as a river, a relentless force that continues to flow no matter the obstacles in its path. When we combine these two, we find something extraordinary. We find a person who knows their worth and will stop at nothing to express it. We find a person who sees challenges as opportunities to prove their mettle, to show the world what they're capable of. Understanding our self-worth fuels our persistence. It provides the motivation to keep going, to keep striving, because we know that we're worth the effort. We know that our dreams, our goals, our passions are worth fighting for. These two concepts, self-worth and persistence, are interconnected. They feed off each other. Our self-worth gives us the confidence to persist, and each time we overcome a challenge, each time we achieve a goal, it boosts our self-worth even further. There's a beautiful synergy here. The more we understand our worth, the more persistent we become. And the more persistent we are, the more we prove to ourselves and to the world that we are indeed worthy. This combination, this intersection of self-worth and persistence, is a powerful tool in overcoming challenges and achieving our goals. It's the key to unlocking our potential, to becoming the best version of ourselves. We all have this power within us. It's just a matter of tapping into it, of understanding our worth and harnessing the power of persistence. When you know your worth and refuse to give up, there's nothing you can't achieve. It's not just a mantra, it's a truth that can transform your life, a reality that can take you to places you've never imagined. So, why does all this matter? Why should you never give up? We've been on a journey together, haven't we? We've talked about self-worth, about understanding that you are valuable and unique. We've shared stories of persistence, of the power that comes from picking yourself up, dusting off the dirt and moving forward. And where do these roads intersect? Right here, right now, in this moment, because it's in these moments of reflection that we truly understand why it all matters. Let's revisit the idea of self-worth. Remember, it's not about what others think of you, but what you think of yourself. It's about recognizing your strengths, your talents, your capabilities. It's about knowing that you are one of a kind, that there's no one else out there quite like you. And then there's persistence. It's the fuel that keeps us going when the road gets rocky, when the darkness closes in. It's the stubborn, relentless voice in your head that says, I won't give up. I can do this. Why are these concepts so crucial? Why should you never give up? Because in this life, we face challenges, we encounter obstacles, we stumble and fall. But it's not about the falling, it's about the getting back up. It's about the learning, the growing, the strengthening of character that comes from adversity. Because you are worth it. You are worth every effort, every struggle, every moment of uncertainty. And every challenge you face is not a setback, but an opportunity to learn, to grow, to prove to yourself just how strong you really are. So remember this, you matter, you are important. And you have every right, every reason to hold your head high and keep moving forward, because you matter, and because every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to prove to yourself just how strong and valuable you truly are.